The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to simply as the Gita, is a 700-verse Hindu scripture that is part of the Indian epic Mahabharata. It is a philosophical dialogue between Prince Arjuna and the god Krishna, who serves as his charioteer. Set on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Gita addresses profound themes such as duty, righteousness, and the nature of the self, offering guidance on how to live a life of purpose and moral integrity. Its teachings transcend religious boundaries and have influenced thinkers and spiritual leaders around the world, emphasizing the importance of devotion, wisdom, and selfless action. Let's delve into profound and insightful lessons of Bhagavad Gita. For one who has conquered his mind, a mind is best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, a mind is the greatest enemy. Happiness from the senses seems like nectar initially, but it is bitter as poison in the end. Set thy heart upon thy work, but never on its reward. He who is content with whatever comes, without attachment, not disappointed when he gets nothing, is wise. Calmness, gentleness, silence, self-restraint, and purity. These are the disciplines of the mind. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming world of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intellect. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. There is neither this world, nor the world beyond, nor happiness for the one who doubts. A person can rise through the efforts of his own mind, or draw himself down in the same manner, because each person is his own friend or enemy. One who has control over the mind is tranquil in heat and cold, in pleasure and pain, and in honor and dishonor. The self-controlled soul, who moves amongst sense objects, free from either attachment or repulsion, he wins eternal peace. Delusion arises from anger. The mind is bewildered by delusion. Reasoning is destroyed when the mind is bewildered. One who has renounced attachment to the fruits of action, who is ever content and free from all kinds of desires, does not act though he may be engaged in all kinds of actions. When a person is devoted to something with complete faith, I unify his faith in that. Then, when his faith is completely unified, he gains the object of his devotion. A person is said to have achieved yoga, the union with the self, when the perfectly disciplined mind gets freedom from all desires. The wise, engaged in devotional service, take refuge in the Lord and free themselves from the cycle of birth and death by renouncing the fruits of action in the material world. Even if you are the most sinful of all sinners, yet you shall cross over all sin by the raft of knowledge. He who has no attachments can really love others, for his love is pure and divine. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. Better is one's own duty, though devoid of merit, than the duty of another well discharged. A gift is pure when it is given from the heart to the right person at the right time and right place, and when we expect nothing in return. It is better to live your destiny imperfectly than to live in imitation of somebody else's life with perfection. Among all kinds of killers, time is the ultimate because time kills everything. The wise who knows the truth thinks, I do nothing at all, for in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, walking, sleeping, breathing, he thinks, the senses move amongst the sense objects. Perform your obligatory duty, because action is indeed better than inaction. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action. The wise should work without attachment for the welfare of the society. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. When your intellect transcends the mire of delusion, then you will attain to dispassion of what has been heard and what is yet to be heard. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for leading people on the right path. Let your aim be the good of all. Then carry out your task in life with an unswerving devotion to truth, refusing to yield to selfish desires or to the errors of human nature. He who is rooted in oneness realizes that I am in every being. Wherever he goes, he remains in me. Those who see action in inaction and inaction in action are truly wise among humans. One who is not disturbed by happiness and distress, and is steady in both, is certainly eligible for liberation. One who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. For one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Even a little endeavor in practicing the regulative principles of bhakti yoga protects one from the most dangerous type of fear. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. He who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. Yoga is skill in actions. The ignorant work for their own profit, the wise work for the welfare of the world, without thought for themselves. By abstaining from work, no one attains freedom from action, nor does he rise to perfection by merely renouncing work. He who is devoid of attachment, who does not rejoice when he obtains good, nor lament when he obtains evil, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. One who shuns selfish attachment to the fruits of work and remains ever content and dependent on no one but himself. Although engaged in all kinds of undertakings, such a person, O Prince, is said to be in the renounced order of life. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Renunciation of the fruits of action is better than meditation. Meditation is better than knowledge. Knowledge is better than performance of sacrifices. One who has wisdom and discernment is always calm and collected. Such a person is in true knowledge. The truly wise mourn neither for the living nor for the dead. There is nothing in the world as purifying as knowledge. One who has attained purity of heart through prolonged practice of karma yoga automatically sees the light of truth in the self in course of time. When you move amidst the world of sense, free from attachment and aversion alike, there comes the peace in which all sorrows end, and you live in the wisdom of the self. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. He who is able to resist the force of desire and anger before he quits his body is a yogi and is happy. The disunited mind is far from wise. How can it meditate? How can it be at peace? When you know no peace, how can you know joy? When a person responds to the joys and sorrows of others as if they were his own, he has attained the highest state of spiritual union. This divine wisdom is a direct perception of the truth, much superior to any indirect knowledge of the scriptures or hearsay. When your intellect, perplexed by what you have heard, shall stand immobile and steady in the self, then you shall attain self-realization. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain to the supreme goal. They are forever free who renounce all selfish desires and break away from the ego cage of I, me, and mine to be united with the Lord. He who has renounced selfishness, who understands the principles of self-sacrifice and has realized that the true nature of the self is eternal, achieves cosmic consciousness and knows the spiritual truth. Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. One who is not disturbed in mind amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. In the still mind, in the depths of meditation, the self reveals itself. The peace of God is with them whose mind and soul are in harmony, who are free from desire and wrath, who know their own soul. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral, mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. The yogi who is happy within, who rejoices within, and who is illuminated within, becomes fully liberated in the Brahman and attains the supreme eternal bliss. When a person is devoted to something with complete faith, I unify his faith in that. Then, when his faith is completely unified, he gains the object of his devotion. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Knowledge is the ultimate purification. The ignorant differentiate between spiritual knowledge and devotional service, but the wise see devotional service and knowledge as one. Yoga is the journey of the self, through the self to the self. As the heat of a fire reduces wood to ashes, the fire of knowledge burns to ashes all karma. You have the right to work, but never to the fruit of work. It is better to strive in one's own dharma than to succeed in the dharma of another. A disciplined mind brings happiness. The wise unify their consciousness and abandon attachment to the fruits of action. Sever the ignorant doubt in your heart with the sword of self-knowledge. Observe your discipline. Arise. Those who are motivated only by desire for the fruits of action are miserable, for they are constantly anxious about the results of what they do. When a person is devoted to something with complete faith, I unify his faith in that. Reshape yourself through the power of your will. Never let yourself be degraded by self-will. Man is made by his belief. As he believes, so he is. The ignorant work for their own profit, the wise work for the welfare of the world. To action alone hast thou a right, and never at all to its fruits. Let not the fruits of action be thy motive, neither let there be in thee any attachment to an action. Set thy heart upon thy work, but never its reward. Perform all thy actions with mind concentrated on the divine, renouncing attachment and looking upon success and failure with an equal eye. There is neither this world, nor the world beyond, nor happiness for the one who doubts. As the kindled fire consumes the fuel, so in the flame of wisdom, the embers of action are burnt to ashes. The meaning of karma is in the intention. The intention behind action is what matters. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme. A gift is pure when it is given from the heart to the right person at the right time and at the right place, and when we expect nothing in return. No effort in this world is lost or wasted. A fragment of sacred duty saves you from great fear. What is work and what is not work are questions that perplex the wisest of men. One must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Curving back within myself, I create again and again. Even a little effort towards spiritual awareness will protect you from the greatest fear. He who has let go of hatred, who treats all beings with kindness and compassion, who is always serene, unmoved by pain or pleasure. One who has control over the mind is tranquil in heat and cold, in pleasure and pain, and in honor and dishonor. The power of God is with you at all times, through the activities of mind, senses, breathing, and emotions, and is constantly doing all the work using you as a mere instrument. By self-control and by renouncing all attachments, the willful soul enjoys tranquility. Thanks for watching. Do not forget like, share, and subscribe to the channel.